we've had, of course, this weather has just been insane so far in the first couple weeks of this year, but we've had record low temperatures in 2018. It's snowing in places that it never, ever snows. So is President Trump right that we want clean air and clean water, but that climate change and the burdensome financial regulations surrounding it stifles business?
Look, King, I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell you that, yes, there are some strange things going on with the weather, and things certainly are odd out there. I think climate change is real. And by the way, climate change doesn't necessarily have to mean that the globe is getting warmer. Climate change means things are changing. So places that are generally hotter may be cooling off. Places that are cool are hot. I think there's somewhat of a natural process that goes on with our planet. But again, I'm not a scientist here. But as far as what your question is, clean air, clean water, I don't care who said it, President Trump or anybody else. Everyone is for that. I mean, we can't survive, on this planet if we're not going to have clean air and clean water. I think that's basic common sense, and it's a must. At the same time, I think it's also a correct statement to say that regulations do stifle business and do have a negative impact on the economy. So the clear answer here is that you have to have a balance. But finding the right balance isn't so easy. And let me tell you what I think the real problem is and what we've heard President Trump talking about. We're competing against some pretty large economies out there like India and China. But it's not a level playing field because those two countries literally are some of the biggest polluters on Earth. So if they're not going to be following regulations, which obviously cost more to produce products and other things, and therefore the competition in this case has an unfair advantage, that's a big problem. So if you're going to be taking down regulations for the United States, let's say, which President Trump said it's his intention to do, you're going to allow for a more level playing field economically. But the other side of it is, King, what are we giving up as far as clean water and clean air? So this is a really tough thing. Part of the reason why I believe that the president pulled us out of the Paris Climate Accord was for this reason exactly, is that we're spending a lot of money putting ourselves somewhat behind the eight ball economically in order to achieve some environmental goals, which that's an absolute positive. But if other people are not, or other countries are not going to be complying, that doesn't work. It hurts us. And look, we're all one globe. It's all one world. So if somebody on the other side of the planet is creating a pollution problem, it's also our problem. So we need to get compliance worldwide. And by the way, I think that part of the stock market rally that we're seeing, which is absolutely incredible, is related to deregulation across the board. So obviously, from a business standpoint, deregulation and taking those types of regulations down is a positive economically. But again, I say we need to strike a balance because if we're too regulated, it's going to hurt us economically. So now we'll have to see what President Trump does in this area, and we'll see how the stock market continues to react.